Here we are, Sean and Cass, back at it.
From the spacement.
We're down in the spacement for this one. We haven't done one from the spacement in a while.
We haven't been in the spacement in a while.
No, we haven't. We've been running around like crazy. But we're here. The Very Ape Podcast, in case you didn't know what you were listening to. But we're also, we got to push right up front. We forget to do it in general, but we got to push it. We need y'all to watch Wild Magic, our new movie, and spread the word. We're headed into like phase 2 of getting the film out there. Phase 1 was really like kind of like a soft launch. It's like easing into it. It's just like make sure that everyone in the film sees it, all their friends and family, our friends and family, some small screenings here and there. Just giving the world a little taste. But now's when we're going to need it.
We are. If you're also in the, Finger Lake region, we're going to be doing a screening in Ithaca on October 18th.
Yeah, it's going to be a screening and a Church of Chill party. We're starting to...
and a toning event.
Yeah, we're going to sing together. We're going to watch the movie. We'll do a little Q&A, and then we'll do a dance party at the end. And I think this is going to be like the prototype for a lot of the events that we're trying to do coming up. But in the meantime, check out Wild Magic. It's on wildmagic.tv. It might only be there for a limited time, so get while the getting's good. See it while you still can, and tell other people about it. It really means the world to us when people post about it or talk about it or whatever, because otherwise these films can fade into oblivion, and also we can too, very easily. You can. I get a taste every now and then of how that could happen.
Really?
Yeah, it terrifies me.
The idea of fading into obscurity?
Yeah.
Or oblivion?
Yeah.
Well, I always think, there's all this talk of, like, what is it called? Like a EMP, or if the sun does shoots a ray too strong.
Yeah, but then everyone's fucked. That I don't worry about as much.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, if history has to restart, it's like, are we going to be really crying about the fact that we can't show American Juggalo to anyone?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like how the pandemic was just like, we weren't mourning it too much. We were just like, okay, now everyone is kind of on the same page. We're all kind of stuck inside the way we chose to live. Now we're all stuck inside. But yeah, I worry, for so long, I'm like, man, we're ahead of our time. Like, one day people are going to catch up to like what we're really doing with this body of work and what we're trying to say. And then I'm like, there's another part of me that's like, okay, maybe we were ahead of our time for a little bit, but are we falling behind the times? Like, what's going on? Like, it's so hard to keep up with, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I can see why a lot of people are struggling.
Well, yeah, I mean, technology is exponentially taking over and growing, and it's hard to know exactly where it's going besides singularity. So you're like, how fast is that going to happen? What are the implications of that? What does it mean for how we communicate, how we make art, how we work, that sort of thing. So
yeah. And what we're trying to say, I feel like always, well, maybe not what we're trying to say, but the way we say it needs to always kind of be adjusting to keep up with the times. Are you bored?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, I've been thinking lately a lot about, to dive right into it, how in some ways AI is like a physical manifestation of like Indra's net. Like there's a more AI isn't exactly tangible in that web, but it's more tangible than maybe something we can't really interface with, this Indra's net that connects all beings. But it can be intimidating that everything you say, do, and put out is just being fed into this supercomputer, super machine, this super intelligence. But in a way, what we broadcast out there, or what we say, is like part of that ripple of like what affects what is then happening when people Google certain things or understand what a definition of something or a way that people are in life. I mean, it's being processed so quickly that we we are like I like it though, and not that I don't necessarily like AI, but I like that it kind of forces a level of integrity because you realize, oh, this ripple, oh, what I say on a podcast is then not lost to the dustbin of history, but actually like very much recorded and part of what you find when you Google or when you look up ChatGPT. Like Sean and Cass's very podcast, like, can you tell me about what they're all about?
Yeah.
Like there's something there, and there's going to be not just for us. Maybe we're on a more of a front line because we're putting on YouTube and whatever, but that's going to, I think, inevitably exist for all people everywhere.
Yeah.
Based on your emails or your text messages or your social media interactions or
your thoughts. Yeah, it'll get there.
Definitely.
I mean, this has always been the case, I feel like. I mean, it's kind of the way karma works. It's like the things you think, the words you say, the actions you take affect the world. There's a ripple effect to all of that. That's the way I think of karma. And I feel like this new technology is just making those ripples last longer and go further.
Right.
Maybe feel a little bit more consequential.
Yeah, maybe feel a little more consequential, because if we keep saying, okay, we need to build a new paradigm, this is how you build a new paradigm, there is a world in which people are looking up, build a new paradigm, and our words are affecting what exists in that framework.
Jesus Christ.
It's like a little exciting, a little intimidating.
Yeah.
A little frustrating because it feels like there's no out. You can't like opt out of AI right now.
Well, yeah. Well, and also if it's that consequential, it's like opting out of your integrity, which feels nice from time to time, to hop out of your integrity and just be like, whatever. Like, feels like the less space for that. It's good. It kind of like, it keeps me on point.
It feels like there's a reckoning happening, because it's like not sustainable what's happening with AI, but it just kind of feels like there's no fighting the tide.
Absolutely not. It's ridiculous.
So us humans are just going to have to learn to live with less, because we're feeding the machine, and rich people get richer, poor people get poorer. It's like, I want to have a more positive view of things, though, than that. Than like the water supply just being like going to cooling generators for electricity for the like unsurmountable electricity being used.
Yeah, I think more and more it's like it's harder to keep a positive outlook. I think as time goes on and technology increases, it's harder and harder to keep a positive outlook. And that's where the discipline comes in. That's where community comes in. Like, there's a lot of things I feel like that AI is going to change and replace and force change upon us and force us to kind of find new meaning and new purpose. But there's a lot of things that it's really never going to be able to get to or replace. And hopefully we don't forget those things in the meantime, that there's always work to be done. There's always help that can be offered.
Well, and I just like prefer, and the way I see it going is like, I so much more value someone who makes something with their hands, or an idea that, it's like just the value on that is so much greater to me, that it just feels like there's like a natural correction that will take place, because what we value, like it won't be as valuable if it's easy to generate, Yeah. And I think I've kind of the way, when I'm deep in a Reddit rabbit hole, and then, you get to the umpteenth post where someone's like, this is obviously generated and fake. And I'm like, God, I just spent like so much time invested in this person's story, and it's not even real.
Are you running into this?
Yeah, and it helps me quit Reddit, but then I get sucked back in, and but I kind of feel like that's with AI. It's like you can't. There's ways when you Google stuff to like say no AI, but I've had enough times where AI has misled me that I'm like, all right, this isn't like a tool that I want to lean on. It's gonna get people more wanting to experience stuff with their own hands and with their own, through reading a book that, I had to get this at a library.
Well, it's already like I feel like it's helped us in the way because of like we've had this like backlog of ideas about like projects we want to do and films we want to make for a while, and a lot of them are like commercially tangible. I feel like AI, the technology, has allowed us to get those projects into shape where we could go out to the market and pitch them, or do a crowdfunding campaign, or
Yeah, us and everyone else, though.
But this is what I was just gonna say. Yeah, I mean, luckily we had that stockpile of ideas. Luckily, because I think it'll start to fuck with that, even our ability to have the new fresh idea, because you could turn to it for that. I'm sure we could turn to ChatGPT and be like, hey, Sean and Cass, they've been making films for 20 years. What else should they make films about?
Yeah, what should their next... I mean, I was tempted to do that today when I was like, okay, we have to do a podcast. And I'm like, should I just ask ChatGPT what we should talk about? And then I thought about how... And I'm definitely like... not in the position where I shame people but I kind of shame myself at some times. But I Googled like key themes of Donnie Darko before our film club last night.
Yeah.
And I didn't really talk about any of them because I found that they were overly simplistic, and the conversation that we were able to generate as a group was so much more nuanced and interesting than like talking specifically about like what fire and water mean.
Yeah, right.
Right. And so it was like an experience like that was actually really positive for me, because I'm like, okay, this isn't a well I'm going to go back to, because I'm like, what I want to trust my initial reaction to the film. I'm more interested in what it made me feel rather than what some amalgamation of the internet had to say.
Yeah, like it might be an interesting thing we do a film club once a week on the Church of Chill Patreon, patreon.com/Church of Chill. Join us. We just did Donnie Darko. And yeah, I think, why do we do film club? Like if everyone's coming to the table with that attitude of like, let me just chat GPT real quick what this film meant to me. What are we doing? Like, but at the same time, like I could see if this was like in academia, like I would have definitely relied on it to get through my film courses and to help explain movies like Stalker that I'm watching when I'm 21 years old, and I'm like, I don't really understand what the heck is going on, but it felt like something important, and I'm glad I've had to watch that movie many times to figure out how to decode it. And in the film club, I'm like, I get much more out of the ideas and the reflections we have about these films that we come up with spontaneously, because no one really dominates in there. It's just like a really free-flowing conversation. And we land on stuff that AI could never touch. So, I feel like starting to rely on AI for those kind of things is like, that's where the slippery slope comes in. Because we're using Film Club for human connection and to connect deeper with our community. And we've been doing it for so long now that we have like all these inside references.
Yeah, well, I was more curious what it would say and whether it was like valuable, and if like, okay, could I bring something... through doing this, could I bring something to the table that we don't know or don't think about, or like kind of like as a backup.
Oh, Michelangelo, do you want to say hi? Tell him he's live. Caller, you're live.
Caller, you're live on the Very Ape podcast.
Hello, Very Ape podcast. This is the ungoogleable Michelangelo calling. I got the ape signal in the sky, and I figured I would heed the calling. I just got off a call with this guy who has that church, that mothership-looking church in Tulsa. Remember I showed you that?
Oh yeah. I think we know that guy, kind of. Yeah.
He's also been in touch with. Cass sent him a care package with some wild magic adjacent materials.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm going to send him some stuff, and basically, there's room for us on board that vessel, so we should chat about that when you're not on air.
Oh, cool.
Great.
We're very into it.
Planting seeds in the ethers.
Do you have anything you want to say about AI while we have you?
Yeah, come on. I know you have something. We're talking about trying.
Ay.
We're talking about like the temptation, but trying not to use it for things even as simple as film club.
Yeah, my thing is that because I used it kind of as my editor while I was working on Lore Spores, and my thing is to use it as the mule, not as the muse.
I like that.
Make it do the grunt work, but don't let it interfere with your actual creative inspiration. That should always come from the AI within, the ancestral intelligence, the alien intelligence, and what was the third A in our triple A? Ancestors, aliens, and angels. Angelic intelligence.
Yeah. I tap into the AI, the angelic intelligence within.
Yeah. We're into the triple AI, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, much, and it's necessary.
You need roadside assistance? Get the triple AI.
My experience is you can't abuse it. I love that, and I think that's a good thing to check in with yourself. Are you doing the mule or the muse here? But I found that even when I've muled it up, I've had transcripts from interviews I've been doing as I was casting one of our upcoming films, that by like the 7th transcript I fed it, it just started giving me bullshit, like totally lying.
It starts hallucinating. It starts making shit up.
It totally did. And I was like, I think it was like pissed. I think it was PO'd that I was making it do this. I do think it got like it was over it by a certain point. I was like, okay, I'm done with that.
I've put it to bed before where I'm like, okay, you're just making stuff up, and it'll be like, oh, you want me to go step by step? I was like, all right, one more chance, and it'll just do it again. I'm like, yeah, I think you're tired. I think we'll pick this up maybe tomorrow. Take a little nap.
It gets tired. I literally am like, where did you get this information? Could you read the transcript again and give me accurate information and not make up anything? And they're like, oh, right, I see that that's not actually in the transcript, and then it just does it again, and I'm like, all right, you hate me, and that's okay. We've hit our wall, and I'm going to respect that and sign off exactly like you're saying.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I wrote a whole essay about this called From Mind's Eye to AI. It's really important to, like, before you generate an image prompt, to check in with, unless you're fantastic, and you don't have any inner imagination, but to, like, check in with your expectations on the inside so that you can then kind of compare them with the output from the machine dream, so that you don't end up completely outsourcing your imagination to where now your interior has become external, which means that it's a controllable interface, and now you're at the mercy of whatever forces are hiding behind the screen,
This is what I'm concerned about.
What? Unlike mushrooms, the AI is powered by corporations. You're not going to have a mushroom trip and all of a sudden there's like a subliminal ad going to pop up for, whatever.
I don't know. Cass had an Elon Musk mushroom trip last year.
Oh, but those are muskrooms.
Oh,
you just got a bad batch.
I think it was around the election. I think I just was feeling the dark forces at play, and I was just. Yeah. I don't know if tapping in on it or reflecting on, I don't know, my feelings about it. But,
We're going to Mars. Hey, guys, I'm a mushroom. Let's go to Mars. Let's have a great time.
Well, thank you for your insights. We always appreciate them.
Yeah, and we'll see you tomorrow night for our first ever toning event at Psychedelic Assembly in New York City.
Very excited.
But we're gonna bring it on the road. We're gonna test it out down in New York City, and we're coming to a town near you to tune you up.
Maybe even Oklahoma. While you're on the air, if there's anybody listening in Oklahoma who would come to an event in a church, if we are a part of it, drop a comment or something. Let us know so we have some statistics.
Where are Okies at?
Yeah, we need some Okies to come out.
Okie homies.
Yeah. I don't know if I know any Okie homies off the top of my head, but I think we'll be able to fill it out regardless.
Hell yeah.
I'm confident about that.
All right.
More to come.
Enjoy the rest of your pod.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
I think, what's interesting about that mushroom trip being a few days before the election, we took some mushrooms up in the cemetery. on Halloween last
Mm-hmm.
year. And you were like, definitely, you were tapping into what's happened, really.
You
You
know,
really tapped into the darkness that was right ahead of us.
well, I don't even think it was like it was just, it felt like I felt Elon Musk and Trump as like, like when in Aladdin, when Jafar becomes like the genie, and
Yeah.
he's like this, or he becomes, what is he the Sultan or whatever, the
Mhm.
evil Sultan. It felt like that kind of like larger than life energy of like, why are you doing this to us?
Yeah. Well, it's a really good question. It's a really good question. I don't know if we'll ever get easy answers to that, but I think there's ways to resist. The punker in me knows how to and wants to and does resist with every fiber of my being, with every action I take, with the things I don't do, with the things I do, resists the current trajectory, especially of this country and what it stands for. It's kind of why we say we would rather be architects of a new paradigm than play in this one at all. But, lately I've been tapping into my goth side.
Yeah, you've become goth boy mode activated.
Goth boy mode activated. I didn't realize that this was going to happen. I didn't plan for it, but I think that the seeds were very firmly planted a long time ago, but really started to take root when I went and saw Nine Inch Nails, and I was around all the other goths down in Philly, and I was just like, hell yeah. And then it just switched over to September. The weather started getting a little bit more crisp, and like I could feel it. And to me, all goth is like, I thrive in the darkness. Fuck it, I ain't gonna be. I'm not gonna sit here trepidatious about a season changing, and it getting a little darker a little earlier. The same way I don't want to get trepidatious about an administration changing, and things getting a little darker. I want to thrive in the darkness, and I think that there's a way to combine the I thrive in the darkness with I resist, and kind of combine my punk and goth roots together with some style and grace.
Okay.
That's the way I see it, at least. That's like, and it's very much fueled by the music and movies we'll be listening to and watching. So
Yeah, it's really informed your Church or Chill.
yeah,
The music, weekly music.
yeah. We put out a weekly music mix on our Patreon as well, and it will be getting progressively more goth for the next couple months.
He's going to ease you into it.
No, I'm going to ease into it and ease out of it. I already have ideas about how to ease out of it. I've already built the episodes that'll ease us into it and then totally douse us in it, and then I have ideas about how to get out of there.
Yeah, I know you're in the flow when I'm like seeing you work on like Church of Chill number 7. I'm like, you're 7 episodes ahead right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm still working on the 1.
well, I mean, sometimes like I feel like that's I don't know, I feel like that's how inspiration has worked for me. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, whatever.
The floodgates are open.
Yeah, I'm saying when they're closed, I've learned to like not judge it that much and just kind of like stick to my practices and like
Protein listening.
Yeah, just keep trying. Inspirational hit, and I'm talking about writing or making films or the way we socialize or throwing events or the music we're listening to or whatever, the mixes I'm making. I don't know. Sometimes it's just like it's not hitting. It's just not there. I've learned from doing this for so long, like to just not judge it that much. It just like everything is changing,
Ebbs and flows
all the time.
Oh, it stopped.
Why?
I don't know, but it was working a second ago.
Stand by. Our video went down.
I think it's still up.
And now it's back.
It said something about an activation, but I don't know what it's activating. But the recording was still going, so I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah.
What minute is it at? Because if there's a glitch.
Like 26.
Okay.
I don't know what I was talking about. Sometimes you're inspired, sometimes you're not. It's no big deal.
NBD.
Yeah, and when I'm not inspired, like there's still so many things I can be doing to keeping this whole entity afloat. I don't even think from the outside you would ever realize when I was kind of going through a phase like that.
A lot of vacuuming.
Yeah, it's a lot of vacuuming. It's a lot of pull-ups and push-ups and stuff like that, and just like all of that kind of stuff. But when it is flowing, sometimes it flows so much that it overflows out of one particular container or project or medium or whatever. And yeah, sometimes I'm really hearing it. Like I'm really, really hearing what is sometimes a really faint voice in the distance that's like whispering to me the ideas. Sometimes it just gets right up close, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm feeling it. I know what's good right now. I see the way forward. And for me, when I see the way forward, it's like, it's for months and years at a time.
Well, I think there's something about being at a certain age where you've like lived enough ups, highs and lows and flows and no flows, and so you're just like patient with it.
Yeah.
I also think it's a benefit to me living in the Northeast, is you kind of have that programmed into you.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, all right, now is the time to wear long underwear.
Yeah.
Now is the time. It's summer. Like, flaunt it while you got it. You know, it's Leo season. While out. It's all right. It's back to school. Get into it. You know, and I kind of like that. I kind of like things being dictated and not judging it and just being like, all right, I'm just trusting. I think it's funny, and I maybe it's just because our whole world is so push, but that every astrological anything, every oracle deck, it's almost comical to the point where it's like, you need to remember to rest.
Yeah.
And as someone who remembers to rest, it's just funny how often I get those messages.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, everyone's getting these messages because
Yeah.
we're all plugged into the same astrological apps and this sort of thing. But it's getting to the point where I'm like, all right, give me something else.
Yeah, give me something to do here. I already know how to rest. I'm an expert.
I'm an expert at rest. You need to tell me to push it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just think, you know, if I'm getting these messages and tapping into it, I think it's probably for a reason, and a bigger reason, and it probably applies societally, that maybe it's really time to fully just acknowledge we are in dark times. We are headed into dark times. It doesn't mean this is a dark place, and it doesn't mean to like give up hope or whatever, but it's literally saying like it's time to get goth. It's time to thrive in the darkness. And what I think the reason I'm saying, and these words are just coming to me while I'm sitting here, but like I think that the reason I'm saying that is because otherwise it can turn into victimhood real quick. We get around a lot of boomers who have fully, totally given into victimhood, as opposed to just like getting goth about things and just being like, oh, this, okay, that's what we're doing. All right. I know how to do this.
Yeah. Well, like empowering versus
Empower yourself.
I think there's like different places on the spectrum of how people deal with darkness, and I think there's denial, which is probably the most insidious. Then there's like acceptance. Then there's like anger. I mean, there's
You're
all
talking about the stages of grief.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stages of grief, and we want to. I mean, I think you have to go through all of them. But I think the idea is to get to a place of empowerment where you're like, okay, I'm not going to change the world alone, but every community action, we can come together to build this world that we want to see, where it's like we're relying on each other and we're being smart about. We are smart. We're all smart. You know, we have if we remind ourselves that we have ideas and that we can enact them and share them with other people, and other people love great ideas, it could be really positive what's possible. And I think
and it can happen quick.
It also is. I think the idea right now is us feeling powerless is very advantageous to those in power.
Of course.
Because if we forget that, you know, if we stop doing things, everything can flip on its head in one day.
Yeah. Wouldn't take long.
It wouldn't take long.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
But there's an iron boot coming down, and it comes down fast, and that's what my mom always says to me. She's like, "You gotta be careful, because when it comes down fast."
I believe her.
Yeah.
I believe her. She's been on the Chicken Little Sky is Falling trip for a long time, and it's like it's hard for me to go there because I have to make a living through ideas that make us feel more connected. I feel like that's my job. And so it's hard to give in to like, oh, the sky is falling, because it feels hopeless.
It stopped again.
Damn. I'm sorry about this herky-jerky transmission here. Sorry about this. Patreon.com/churchofchill for more, including part 2 of all these episodes. We do one on here for the YouTubers, and then we do another episode for the real homies. Our last bonus episode was extremely revealing.
I think it's I put it on airplane mode. I think that should solve it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, put your mic on.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we were talking about? This is very herky-jerky right now, I feel.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, though.
Herky jerks.
Some things will never change. Herky jerks. Yeah. Basically,
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
go for it.
I know it's possible because if you look at the pictures of what happened in Iran, you're like, it's possible.
Oh, that things go real dark, real fundamentalist vibes real quick.
Yeah, you get girls in miniskirts to like burqas in like years.
Yeah.
Like shut everything. Your freedom is shut down.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I think like what you were saying gives me just like a morsel of hope to work with, is like people love good ideas. People love good times. People love good stories. So start having better ideas, start telling better stories, and have good times. Build community. Do those kind of things that like really governments and industrial complexes can do very little to stop. You got to start thinking along those lines. What are the things that they can't prevent us from doing? They can prevent us from doing a lot of things. But what are the things that they really have no say in? And start to exploit those. And like those are your little portals out. And God, it's going to look different how everybody, goes about adjusting to this new way of living.
I mean, I've felt like a lot, I think lately, especially in the last year since we've put out Wild Magic and filmed Wild Magic, I've felt like a lot of transformation in my life as far as like what I've magically called in, how I've magically changed my disposition, my way of seeing the world, my using gratitude and trusting the trees and praying to the trees. And I think it's just like been very much in like a individual level, like help me have a good relationship with my partner, help me have positive days, help me do these things. But I do feel like we're one of many, obviously, this podcast and the podcast similar to this, like prove there's many people who are tapping into how your imagination can create reality and how empowered we are and what's possible, and that it's not what's going on here isn't exactly what we think, and there actually is a lot of room to jump timelines. But I think that what we need is like people who are, I think it's easy to sell like, you get rich, I'll help you get rich. But how do we sell, or maybe not sell, forget sell, but how do we collectively pray and have the same aims and come together and be like, okay, let's have a collective vision for our communities coming together, for strength, for resilience, for people not consenting to horrible policies and dictatorial rules, and
not consenting to a government that doesn't represent us at all. They don't even pretend to represent us.
Yeah, but how do we, and like praying for collective strength, praying for peace, praying for this. I think there's a world in which if we could figure out how to get on the same page, or if someone could have the lead the way,
Mm-hmm.
that I think some really incredible things we could see happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just calling that in, and maybe there are people who are doing that.
It's gonna be many people. I think it's gonna be a vibration that leads the way, as opposed to like an individual. I feel like that's kind of like
But we
the
need
structures of our government have like kind of trained us to be like, well, there's a president and that person is in charge, and like I just don't see that's how it's gonna go down.
It just feels like we need leaders.
But I think that they're gonna come in the form of vibes, and I feel like this is kind of like what you were just saying, like. We took 2 years to make this film Wild Magic, and we collected all this like mysticism, like American mysticism, like what has grown out of the conditions here and the people that that it's produced, and getting just a little a morsel of wisdom from each of those people. And what are all those people? They're disparate points of light, like all over a map of this country. And what did we do? We like took those disparate points of light and we threw a lasso around it and said, these disparate points of light are now a wildfire. And it's all contained here in this film. And if you watch this film, it can kind of show you a myriad of ways in which you can approach life differently, in which you can approach your view on reality differently. And that's kind of what I mean by a vibe leading the way. That's why this work felt so important, I feel like, while we were making it, while we were putting it together, and why we really had to hold the line a lot of times from it not becoming like a joke, or like just like too product-y, you know, or something that feels like something you've already seen. You know, I think it's a powerful vibration. I think it's a wildfire in a movie. But what is that wildfire made of? It was just a bunch of like disparate points of light that kind of are from different angles, but sharing a hopeful vision for the way life can be for people and how we can come back together. Because I think that's like everything that you're seeing right now is a reaction to how fractured we've become. You know, from our communities, from our families, and even from ourselves. Like, I feel it individually, and I feel it's phone addiction mainly, but just the various pressures of life just being fucking slowly turned up over time, and I feel it's fractured who I am. So, you know, I'm trying to become whole again. And I think as I become whole, you start to see it in my family, starts to feel a little bit becoming whole again. And then I feel like once families start to become whole again, then communities do. And it kind of spreads from there. And maybe states and countries can start to come together, and it can reach out and encompass the world, I hope. But I feel like a lot of the bullshit is forces that be taking advantage of how fractured we've become in so many ways. We're much easier to control in that way. You know, when you're in strong community and strong family units, it's like it's harder to control people. And, you know, the powers that be want us in consumption mode. They want us to be consumers. They need us buying things, and they need us selling our labor to them cheap so we can buy the products that they've used to control us. Like, it's just like, it's this very nefarious cycle. And I think part of the way out of it is figuring out ways to become whole again. And I think one of the ways I've used, and this might not apply to everyone, but like, you do some of these substances, some of these psychedelics, especially something like DMT, and you realize that there's completely other realms happening around you. And it's like, man, I was taking this one really seriously for a while. There's a whole bunch of other things going on here. There's entities around me that I can pray to that help make me feel whole again, that help bring it all together and into a worldview.
Well,
something I could do something about.
Well, wholeness is like one of the most threatening things to to the dominant paradigm, because if you're whole, you don't need to buy stuff to
Yeah.
make you feel whole.
Yeah.
And so that's like really threatening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think this is where us holding the line weirdly, even just being like setting up shop in the Spacement and being like, everyone being like, you want to buy that? People know, like, we have the resources, we have money, like we could go live in an apartment or buy a place or whatever. But I think that something else has kind of like replaced those values, and it's funny, other people project it onto us, but I think it's just like not a huge part of my desire system. I'm like getting my nutrition from a million other places that don't include like whatever all that is, like the illusion that you own something, when it ends up owning you, like it ends up making you have to go do things that might not be in alignment with who you really are. So, I'm just doing my best not to get tricked into kind of becoming that lowest form of myself, which is like a consumed consumer. Somebody's that's being consumed by the things you're consuming, and it's just like just an awful cycle that is driving people crazy. And it's why we're seeing like depression, anxiety, suicide, all these things like through the roof. Like, how many people do we know that are just like straight up addicted to whatever doctors gave them?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it was concerning but refreshing. Like, we went to our friend's beautiful wedding full of beautiful people, and they're, these are like Vermonters. They're like, more earth people, what I would say.
Very earth people.
And it's like the consensus still is we're addicted to our phones. Like, there's
Yeah.
no escaping it.
Yeah.
You have to. If the only person I met who escaped it, like, spends 3 months a year in Vipassana. No, Vipassana. Wait, right? Huh?
Yeah. Vipassana, the silent retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We were just taking her on her word. But she was basically saying, like, I've spent so much of my life in silent retreat, months at a time, that like being around all the technology, like she's resensitized herself to it.
Yeah, she feels like it makes her sick.
If she feels like it
feel
makes her
like
sick, and I'm like, God damn.
That's the thing that's like is slowly working its way into like getting me to push it away a little bit more. I have a horrible phone addiction, but when I hold it, I feel sick.
Yeah.
Especially when it's plugged in or something. I don't know if this is paranoia from everything I've read or the EMFs or whatever fear thing, but I'm like, I don't know. It's starting to work in the sense of like, okay, I'm like, I can put this away.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, these things aren't here to feed our soul, and we treat them like they are. This new technology is not here to. I don't think it's here to save humanity. I think it's here to do the capitalist thing.
Extract our attention.
Yes.
And if you're not paying for it, you're the product.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good rule of thumb. Kind of like, is the AI are you using it as a muse or a mule? It's like, okay, oh, you're great. You're not paying for this app. That's because you're the product.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do ChatGPT for free. That's because what you're importing into it is like you're doing the work.
That's when you become the consumed consumer.
Yeah.
And look, I don't. I don't want to get too like down in the dumps about it, but like it is a good thing to kind of take note of every now and then. Is be like, what is this doing to me? Like I just pop up my phone and look at Instagram, and it's like, it's good times. It just feels like good times.
I feel like baseball.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, there's
Balls.
baseball, some guy getting in a fight, something, a fail. Oh, Joey sent me like 5 hilarious videos, but it's fracturing me.
Yeah.
I know what it's doing. It's fracturing my attention.
And for it to be the first thing you consume when you wake up, those moments are so important. The first thing you do when you wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that should be illegal.
Yeah, it really should be. It really should be.
We need to hide each other's phones.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I, the only thing that we have going for us is that we so enjoy each other's company that we actually spend a lot of time not on the phone because we find things to do together besides phone stuff. But damn, it's like even when you still just are like, damn, that thing will take you for every free moment you got.
Oh, it's coming for every free moment you got. Next thing you know, you pop your head up for the first time in 10 years and you're like, what's life again? What is going on? And that's when it'll like any drug that you might be using to tamp down the more gnarly emotions of life. That's all the phone addiction's doing.
Oh yeah,
too.
the dopamine hits. You're like, oh, I don't want to do
It solves everything. I thought nicotine pouches solved all my problems. It's really the phone.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been saying for years, like, I just got to take Sunday off, and I'm like, when am I actually going to do this? My life is literally going to pass me by.
It already is.
And I'm going to like be a Father John Misty song, like you know which song I'm talking about.
Many of his songs, but the last thing you want in this life is to become like a Father John Misty trope. Like, it's not good. Listen to his records, and if you feel yourself becoming that way,
well, he like makes fun of how you like your last dying breath, you're angry or whatever, turning on the news or I don't know. I wish I could remember what song I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's so good.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we can thrive in the darkness, and
and maybe the darkness is like literally, this is like all light. We're staring into light all the time.
Yo, that's great. This is great. Yeah.
Like, thrive in the darkness is like literally put it down and just, it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, you almost have to know, you have to almost crave the uncomfortability of it.
Yeah.
You almost have to say like, oh, this is going to be gnarly.
Yeah.
I got to do, you got to like, kind of the way we've gotten so into Chilcogway, because it's like, oh, it does something to you. That's how we have to get about the darkness.
Yeah.
And the quiet and the quote unquote boredom.
Well,
or uncomfortable feelings.
Well, I think if you don't get down with that, like, I'm realizing like the conditions that this country presents to all its people, like it's an addiction factory. Like, that's what this place is. You're literally, and if you don't think it's true, just take a second and think a little bit more. But you're literally just playing whack-a-mole with addictions in this type of system that we're beholden to.
Totally.
Like, and it's coming from every goddamn angle. And I think that part of it is products standing there, or not standing there, flying above you like vultures, just waiting for your moments of weakness to be like, oh, nicotine addiction, and here I am.
Do you think
you're weak enough? Okay, here I am. You're weak enough that you'll do this now, you'll do that now, you'll start binge watching this, you'll start eating like shit.
Man, my feet
drugs
have gotten out of control.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're medicating. Because we feel it. We feel what all this is doing to us. We feel how much it's fracturing us and making our lives feel more chaotic than they need to be. And it's just a matter of time before one of these addictions gets its hooks in you.
Totally.
And there's so many that, like, a lot of people are kind of juggling a bunch at once. I know there's been many times in my life when I'm juggling a bunch. And it's really tough. It's really tough.
Do you think, I don't think this would work for you because you don't like authority, but I kind of want to just like hand you my phone and have to ask for permission. Like,
yeah.
Like, where I'm like, hey, Sean, I want to do XYZ. Can I have my phone? But you know what's going to happen. I'm just going to look at my computer.
Yeah. But if that would help you, I would do it. Like, the reason I don't go offering that is because I don't know if it would help me that much, because none of this stuff has ever stuck until I decide that's enough. Once I decide that's enough, it's like actually kind of very easy for me. Well, I don't know what that is in my personality.
Well, I don't have that mechanism, but you're like...
Well, have you ever decided enough's enough with something?
Yeah, every day. Every day I'm like, enough's enough.
I'm deleting Instagram, but I'm going to look at Reddit instead. Fuck it. I'm never looking at Reddit again. And it's just like, you do this. You really do this dance with phone stuff. And I just see you kind of like, I'm just like sitting there just like taking it. I'm just doing my thing on the phone. I don't, like, you really contemplate and think about it. And
because I go in hard.
Like, yeah, maybe you go in harder than me or something, but it's never like
I just like, there's other things in my life I'd like to do that I don't leave room for.
You're so talented.
I love doing things.
You're very talented.
The only time I found myself actually doing things is when I've said enough is enough and put this away, and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I'm knitting again.
Yeah.
Because I don't have my phone. It's like when you get off the easiest dopamine hit and it's not available to you anymore, you're like, okay, I gotta dig a little deeper.
Yeah, I sometimes that's the most goth thing you could possibly do, is start knitting. It's just saying, I'm going to thrive in the darkness. I'm putting off the light that I shine in my face all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm going to start fucking knitting. And
Or
I'm gonna
whatever it is,
thrive
yeah.
in the darkness.
Painting, reading, anything.
You
Like,
need light for those things.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but it's an important thing to consider. I've definitely, I've been going so bonkos partying the past month or so.
Oh my God, you've been going so bonkos that yesterday you like totally freaked out on me, and I'm like, this is fresh. All of a sudden you've decided it's time to work, and
Yeah, I did. Well, I did. Well, like I feel like when I do have vision, I can have vision for like how our year should be. And I think we knew this whole year, we're like,
August is going to be lit.
August is going to be fucking lit. We knew it was all kind of building up to that, and that we were going to fucking go completely crazy in August. And we did. Check out our last episode and check out the Afterglow especially.
Or don't check out
Or
the
don't, if you don't want to know more about
Because I think about it, I'm like, I don't want to hear about people's like sexcapades. But some people do.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, okay. We don't have to talk about those things at all.
No,
it just felt like it was on the tip of our tongue because
I'm just.
we had Mallory with us.
No, I'm not against talking about it. I just relate if someone didn't want to listen to it, because I wouldn't really want to listen to other people's.
Yeah, I don't know how we would know if someone didn't want to listen to it, but if
Well,
you don't want to listen to it, just drop a comment.
If I ever am warning my mom not to listen, you can skip that episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people get something out of it though.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think someone got something out of it.
Yeah, it's like I'm saying. It's like telling better stories. It's like, I think it's like a fun and positive story.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't really even know.
I'm not trying to be negative about it.
Basically, I've been going so crazy. I've been like partying for weeks on end, and we had a job mixed in there, and it just going hard, and I know it, but I also know like, oh, the calendar's gonna flip over. We're gonna go into Virgo season, and I'm like, I know how I get. I just know like back to school time kind of means that for me, even though I haven't been in school for so long. It's like, okay, back to school. We got it. Like, let's do it. And yeah, you were talking about going to get a tank top yesterday, fucking an hour away. I'm like, what are we talking about? And it kind of like, I could feel like I was probably more upset with myself than anything, but it's like.
No, I'm not even trying to talk specifically about what that was about. It's just funny that when you're like, we're working.
Yeah.
That, it's just like, it really is like, it shifts in you. You're like, okay, party's over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's what some people might not realize about the party boy lifestyle, is that it's balanced with the party's over energy. But
yeah.
we still keep it fun. I love this part of our life. I love being closer to family. I love slowing it down. I love tending to the garden. I love planting seeds. I love working on our business. I love all this stuff.
Yeah, and then there comes a point where you're like, all right, enough's enough with all that. I need a break from it. And you go fucking crazy. And it's cool. And I wish more people had more space in their life to do that, to see what it feels like.
Well, we've made like very clear compromises to allow ourselves the freedom to have these like very wild times, but also, just balance it all.
Well, just understanding as we've gotten further into our career, how precious the jobs that come in are, how precious the resources we do have are, and to be smart with them. And to me, it's more about like sustaining a lifestyle that works for us than feeling like I own something or I'm completely independent. Who the fuck is independent? We're all dependent on something or someone. And I just think like you and I, like, this is what's cool about being with a person like you, is like, I don't know, we don't resist each other a lot in that way. Like, it's just like we both know what's good about our life and what our gifts in particular are, and we're willing to sacrifice everything else. Like, it'd be cool to have a dog, but we're like, You just think about it like for a second, and you're just like that
It'd be
might
cool to have a dog.
it might prevent me from even doing one slightly spontaneous thing, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing it.
I know. I told your mom today. She's like, "You guys could still have a kid." I'm like, "I don't even want a dog."
Like, why are you telling us to have a kid? We don't want a dog. Like, and not only that, like,
dogs are great, and I love that people have dogs.
and so are kids.
And so are kids. They're all great.
They're awesome, but like even like our friends whose wedding we went to, it's like they have the perfect little life, but they need their parents' help so much.
Yeah.
Like you see, they have one child, and like
Takes a village.
what it takes to really do it properly is crazy, and most people just don't have that support or resources or
our family support us in a very specific way. Babysitting is not going to be one of the ways.
Our families are really good about supporting us in like you can crash here, like that's been like we don't need money from them, we don't really need anything from them, we're
I mean a lot.
we're here to help. Will you let us crash at your place when we're around? And it's like, yeah, sure. And what's great for them is like they get to be close to their kids, and they get to, when we were down in the city,
have a little handyman.
Yeah, have a little handyman around is something like a good cleaning service.
You're a great cleaning service.
But I think like when we were more quote unquote independent, we were not as healthy. We just weren't as healthy because we didn't have the nutrition of family in our life and community and outdoor stuff. When we were down in the city, we were like, God damn, I can't even fathom how many things we were just hopelessly addicted to and not questioning. Beyond the phone, takeout food, drugs,
black plastic,
fucking just like you name it, like the things that you have to do to get through, it starts to be a little much.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I was like, I'm really getting to a good place where I can feel the tides of my life, and I can feel like into that, like you can't be a party boy forever. Like I think you can always kind of have that party boy in you, but like, just, I don't know, the amount of drugs and late nights and wild, like, I don't know, it has to reach an expiration at some point.
Well, and I think that's where I've been able to trust, like, more so lately and not been like up in your shit about even drugs or whatever, because I'm like, I know everything shifts and changes,
and you've seen it with me.
And I've seen it with you.
Like things just run their course.
And I just say it subtly, like, this.
I got my eye on you.
Well, I just say like this drug's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
seen a lot of this drug.
Yeah. Well, usually you're over it before I am.
Yeah.
You're into it before I am, and you're over it before I am. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think people would think the other way around, knowing us, but like, I mean, ketamine, for example, is a perfect example. Like, you were into it before me. You you go harder than me when we're doing it. Like, you go harder than me.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about this.
Yeah, when it's on, it's on.
Yeah.
But that's also how it creeps around in my life longer, weirdly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, maybe I'll have a few days where I overdo it, but like, really?
I've also learned not to like be on your shit, because it's like you just pull something else in. You're like, okay, I'm doing ketamine and I'm not really doing weed, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're not doing ketamine, and all of a sudden weed's way back on the table. It's an interesting thing.
This is what I'm saying about playing whack-a-mole with addictions.
Yeah, like there's a point where I was like, you're really gonna be doing ketamine right now? And then it's like weed totally left the party.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm gonna chill on the ketamine. All of a sudden weed's like way back in the party.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, I mean, it's my weakness.
They're very different too.
They're extremely different.
They're like way different. Like, it's hard to even imagine liking both of those things.
In combination is the best. Talk about like, well, because I think like in a world where like, well, I could just speak to my life where I've had to be like so on point and in charge, and not having a boss and all of this stuff. Like, I crave getting like really confused. I know this sounds weird or fucked up, but like, you know,
I'll confuse you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I allow girls to do it. I definitely let girls come in and run roughshod on my life and confuse me. And, part of the reason I hang around for that is because I think I like being confused. You know how like CEOs like getting their balls stomped on or some shit?
Yeah.
I think I have my version of that.
Yeah,
is
because you like are very decisive. You're a director. You
Vision.
you have vision, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're like, okay, you because you're always like that.
The
This-
novelty of being like, what the fuck is going on is
Yeah.
like really alluring to me.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's why
You can't be telling anyone what to do when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also like why ketamine use is like through the roof and just like a widespread thing. And like people are saying it's like the heroin of our generation. It's because it's like, well, it provides an out. It provides just a portal to dissociate from just constant, unrelenting stimulation. Like there is just like there's no escaping it, and then this drug comes along that's just like, I'll show you how to escape it.
So I've kind of like thought more about my experience with ketamine and why I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
And
You treat ketamine the way you treat Instagram. It's like you're on it and then you're off it.
No,
and
it's-
I'm
but-
never thinking about it again.
No,
Oh,
it's-
fine, I'll do it.
no, it's not like Instagram at all. For me, it's just like I can literally say I'm not interested in it and not do it, and I just end up doing it because it's like, okay, this is what everyone's doing, and I'm not trying to be a fucking loser.
Mhm.
No, I'm joking. But part of me enjoys it so much that when I am coming off of ketamine, like when I'm reintegrating, I feel like a little nauseous.
Mm.
It's like kind of feels like when you're on like a VR headset ride. If you've ever done one of those, I did one of those the other day at an arcade where you put a like headset on and you're like on a roller coaster and it's like this chair that's like vibrating and moving up and down and over and the whole thing, and it's like this real like expansive universe ride. But it makes me kind of nauseous because it's so different from like this grounded reality that I'm used to. So every time I have to like, and the ketamine lasts like what 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like so quickly I'm having to reintegrate into having a body, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like having a body and I like being sober, but I don't. And I also really like being out there in a K-hole floating around, zooming. But I don't like the reintegration period
Yeah.
that comes at the end of that experience that much.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a problem with a lot of these drugs, and it's why people get addicted to them. You
Or
know?
keep doing it so they
Yeah.
don't have to come down.
It's providing such a contrast to the way we're forced to live. And, for a lot of people, I'd say myself included, like these things come along at opportune times when maybe you would have really fallen way deeper into depression or suicidal ideation.
Well, that's like one of the reasons.
And maybe as someone that doesn't struggle with that,
Yeah.
like you can, like it's easy for you to be a little bit flippant here and say, oh, I could take or leave it ketamine. Oh, ketamine's been around a long time. So is my depression and anxiety.
Exactly. No, I know.
Like, what are we talking about? What would you suggest? Like,
Well, that's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm not trying to suggest anything.
well, this is like I think just a not necessarily a problem, just that's just the thing that worth considering, like moving ahead, and like it gives me compassion. It really does. Like I've always had compassion for drug users because I grew up around one.
Well, I think that's where
You
I've
know?
come to with you is that I just trust you. And it's
Yeah.
been a lot more enjoyable. I do trust you.
No, I know you do so much that like sometimes I can go a little too far. You trust me so much that we go pretty far out with a lot of stuff,
Yeah, okay. But
lifestyle stuff, not just drugs, but that is part of it.
yeah. No, but it's easier to trust you because it's like it becomes a whack-a-mole. Okay, I want to control your usage of this. It's like then something else, and it's like you're not going to stop something until you're really ready to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've reintroduced Zins into my life lately.
Yeah.
Maybe because we were partying so hard, and the harder the party, the like less time you have for yourself. And I'm kind of it's alone time's really important for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm like going from like hosting a party to like hanging to post to like just always just like I love it and I love my friends and everything, but Zins grounds me in a way in the way that alone time grounds me.
Yeah, nicotine. Well, this is
It's
what
like
I'm
an
saying.
artificial grounding.
This is what this country is. I'm just not even this country, just the time and history we're at, where it's just like, you need alone time. You're not going to get it. Best I could do for you is nicotine.
Yeah.
You know, you need space from the phone. Well, I know you're not going to get it. Best I could do for you is ketamine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's so many. You need community and family and a sense of belonging. Yeah, there's not time for that. The best I could do for you is social media addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And just the list goes on. How many proxies we have for the real thing, and that the proxies become so ever present that we don't even question what was the real thing to begin with. What was it I needed? You know, like, you don't need nicotine, you need an in-breath.
Yeah, no, totally.
You know, I don't need a dissociative. I need meditation
Mm-hmm.
and alone time.
Well, I did nicotine. I was like falling asleep while driving the other day. Not seriously, but you know, like where
You're like,
you feel your body like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I was falling asleep while driving. Anyway, I was like, I took it as in because I was like, I need something to switch it up. And then I was saying to you, I was like, what I really just needed was like probably like 10 deep breaths.
Yeah. But hey, since we know that no one's gonna do that, here's an array of new products that'll help you get around breathing. And like I feel like once you start to become cognizant of these things, it starts the process of maybe questioning some of the habits you have that aren't serving you. And I know for me, once I start that process, it's a very slippery slope until I'm like, oh, enough's enough.
Well, I get nervous with you because you're so serious that I'm like, can we just be a little more serious? And then you make it everything like way serious. And I was like, wait, I didn't want things to be that serious.
Well, I know. That's why it's a really fine line. And it's why, like, I've never really been like, I'm quitting weed and I'm a guy that never does weed. Or like I can't be like that because I like it at certain times, and there's certain times where I'm like, well, there's certain times when I'll admit it, I'm really disappointed in myself because I'm like smoking weed like 2 hours after I woke up.
Mm.
And this isn't to knock myself or anyone else that wakes and bakes, or you know, I've gone through years of my life where I've done that and I don't even question it, but I can feel more lately because I took like a couple months tolerance break, that like I could feel some disappointment in myself when I turn to it like early in the day, because there's like once you're on that train, it's hard to get off for that day, and then once you're on that train for that day, it's hard to like get off it for the next day. Like, Michelangelo talks about this. He's like, every time I smoke weed, it's like a 10-day adventure for him, and I'm like, oh, it's like a 10-year adventure for me, you know. But at the same time, it has this quality that like really works for me, and like regulates my sleep, gives me an appetite, and makes me feel like silly and laughing. But I think it's like it's a proxy for something that I really crave, that's really in me, and that I really don't need external whatever for it. But because I've used it for so long, I haven't developed the discipline to just tap into that which is lying dormant in me.
Mm-hmm.
That side of me it's there. It's there for me when I'm sober. But I love weed. I love ketamine. I love our life. I love our I love it. I love everything about it. And this is what I mean. I'm going to thrive in the darkness, and I'm going to make choices that ultimately serve my life, and I'm going to be more cognizant about doing right by myself and trying to heal the version of me that is fractured and consumed and seeking something outside of myself to make it feel better. I want to rectify that over time. And I don't know, I think kind of saying it right now is even going to set something in motion, but it ebbs and flows.
Well, amen to that.
Amen, aho, aye, whoop, whoop. Ay, ay, ay. Yes. You want to hop over and do a Patreon episode?
Sure.
We'll see you on the Afterglow. Patreon.com/Church of Chill. We'll see you over there. And wildmagic.tv. Please help us spread the word.
Peace, love, and magic,
Peace,
y'all.
love, and magic, y'all.